Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Elite Physique University. I'm John Gorman, your host. We got Jason Theobald back in the house. What's going on, man? How's your Thursday treating you?
Oh, I guess it's not too bad, man. I'm hanging in there. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. It's been a big week, man. But before we talk about what's new with us this week, we are going to be doing some new stuff here on the show. Man, we're really close to 400 reviews. They've kind of slowed down. We haven't been asking people for reviews for a long time because I mean, I've hosted podcasts before. People just get tired of being asked all the time. But guys, we're coming back, but we're going to give back to you. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a contest. Let's get these up. We're at like 480 or 382 right now. Let's get these up to 400 reviews. And then I'm going to start giving away some stuff. We just had a new launch I'll talk about in a minute, but we're going to give away some Fat Muscle Project supplements for these next few people. And all you have to do is leave a review, then tag us on social with it. Tag me, tag Jason. You may not get a quick reply. You may just get that double tap and the heart seeing that we saw it because we're going to be getting a lot of these. But go ahead and leave a review on stories, and that's pretty much it. You don't have to make posts and stuff. The stories are great. And tag us so we see it. And once we start getting up over 400, I've got the new pumpkin pie so that just dropped. Our GDA is really popular right now. And then our hard to kill pre-workout. So I'll be giving some of that stuff away and hooking people up and take care of it. And the next contest rolls around. Jason and I talked, we'll start cycling out some other stuff. I've got some of Jason's new ethics stuff too, that we can give away. So we'll put some good stuff together and make sure you guys are taken care of. And then finally too, real quick, if you guys go to the show notes, if you ever want to email me with questions or topics or guests that you want to have on the show, just go to the show notes. It's john@team-gorman.net, but it's easier to go on the show notes and click on it, or my Instagram, team_Gorman. Send me some feedback, guys. Send me the questions that you have. We're going to do another Q&A coming up soon because we're getting close to 40 episodes. We usually kick off the next 10 or so with those, and that's all in the show notes, especially some of the stuff that we talk about today. And one of the things that we do want to talk about is you've got some new stuff that just dropped. So what's new with you, Jason?
So, New Ethics has brought out a peanut butter isolate, ISO Perfect. 5 ingredients, very simple, stevia based, and it tastes delicious. So, if you're looking for a pure chocolate protein or pure peanut butter protein, give it a look. You can get nevethics.com. You can get scoobyprep.com as well. And I mix it too with dark chocolate, and it tastes delicious. So,
Oh, wow.
that's
So,
that.
I mean, I guess if somebody wanted like a chocolate peanut butter, they could just mix one scoop of each.
That's what I
If
do.
it's a
Yeah.
guy, or half of each for a girl,
Yep.
whatever their numbers
Yep.
are. So I'm sure I mean, obviously, how many ingredients is that?
That's just 5.
Yeah, which is perfect because it's natural. So,
Yep.
man, that sounds good. I haven't seen a peanut butter protein on the market in a long time. And I think it's because people just don't do them right. They use
Yep.
too many additives and stuff like that. I'm going to have to get with you and get a tub of that because I definitely want to try it out. Anything else new with you? I hear rumblings. That's what I was going to ask you about. I keep hearing rumblings on your other podcast of this show that's coming up in December. And I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Are people
Man,
trying to just get you to compete so they can live through you? Is that what's going on?
well, here, you know what? Maybe a
Us
little bit,
fatties
but
out there that
here's
don't want
here's
to
the
do it.
thing. December 4th, it's 2 weeks pre-Olympia. I mean, let's be honest, all the top 20, 25 guys are done. Like they're focused on the Olympia. They're not hopping in that show. So, strategically, and as lean as I was staying, it could have been a good move. But Aiden has soccer that weekend. It's a tournament. It's not my weekend with the boys, so I am free, but he's 16. There's not a lot of tournaments left. I feel like I should just be there. So I'm just going to keep growing. I've actually got my carbs up to almost 600 now. Food's going just right through me. Post-workout, I just had like 100 grams of cream of rice. I was still hungry. I had a Yazoo Greek yogurt bar, and then I had another bagel. So things are just zooming through me right now. And so I'm going to push and just get my weight up, get round, and kind of bring the improvements that the judges want to see. So there won't be any December 4th.
Yeah, it's just hard. People want to see it all the time, and they probably ask you all the time, but they don't understand to make the improvements that you need to make. Like
Yeah.
dieting just interrupts that for all of us, and especially when someone's been training as long as you have, man, the time off is just crucial because it's
Yeah.
if you interrupt something for 6 weeks to diet or 7 8 weeks, I mean, you lose that time, and
Yeah.
then you're trying to
100.
rebound afterwards and make it back up. It's just
Yeah.
not conducive to try and come in bigger. So real quick, what's
Nope.
new with me this week? We had a fall launch, man. It set all new records for us. Of course, we're a new company. We're only 4.5 months old, but Then we launched the pumpkin pie isolate. It's only got 6 ingredients, and that's flying off the shelves. So it was a big day. We launched creatine monohydrate too, which is just a basic supplement. But my clients take it. We don't make a lot of money on it, but I don't care. I wanted them to be able to just get it from us. You've carried creatine, through Natty and other
Yeah.
places for a long time. It's just a good addition to have. So yeah, we have new stuff coming out on Black Friday too that I'm working on as well. So it's just always a grind. We had a couple new people come on to sell the products. House of Pain Gym in St. Louis. There's 2 of them. They're huge. I was just telling you before the show, we've got to get out there and do like a seminar and train because that place is really cool. And we got Titans Gym. You've been down there for the PEC.
Mm-hmm.
They carry your stuff, and now they started carrying my fat muscle line as well.
Yep.
So, man, things are just growing. Super, super excited. But enough about me. Let's talk about our topic today, which is intuitive eating. And it's, there's always these topics to me, man, I hear them and I'm just like, oh, fuck, I really don't want to talk about this. But there's a lot of people out there that don't understand the benefits of it. They don't understand the liabilities of it. And some of them don't really understand what it is if they're newer. And we always have to remember, you always say, man, sometimes I just don't want to talk about carb cycling because I've talked about it 10,000
Yep.
times, but there's always a lot of people out there that still
Never
need.
have heard it. Yeah. They're new ones coming up the track. Yeah.
Yeah. So intuitive eating is something that, let's start off. Let's go ahead and define it if you would, man. And then we'll talk about what we see out there on social media, because there's a lot of people that have distorted it, which happens in the fitness industry. So to you, what is intuitive eating?
To me, it's one of those things where I feel like people think it means like just kind of eating what you want when you want based on how you feel. And to me, it's not really like that. Like for me, it's like when I intuitively eat, protein's still going to make up the base of my meal. And then I really don't have to weigh my carbs. I've eyeballed I can eyeball my fats and know about what I need to be full and to get the response I need. So, it's a way to get away from the scale and kind of just, eyeball your food, but you still have to understand certain principles if you want to make, any type of gains. You can't just, go grab a pack of Cheez-Its and say, well, I was hungry and that's what I snacked on. I mean, there's still principles that apply. And I think it's based around protein and then still like, where do you need carbs? But then you don't have to like get the scale out, just kind of eyeball it based on all the years that you've been doing this. That's kind of my opinion of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Yeah. It's, I think there's kind of levels of it. I remember back when you and I did a podcast back in the day, you said there's different levels to bodybuilding. There's bodybuilding and there's competitive bodybuilding. With you saying that, to me, there's kind of levels to intuitive eating. There's more of, I don't know if it's an advanced level, but more of a more consciously aware level of intuitive eating. And then there's you just eat and don't really worry about it. And you only eat when you're hungry and quit eating when you're full and stuff like that. So I think as long as, and we'll get into the nuts and bolts of it. I think as long as some people have some parameters, it's a good thing. But what I see being put out on social media, and I saw this, starting back in like 2016, there's a lot of people doing research on it, and they were showing, yes, you can lose weight, you can lose fat on intuitive eating. Well, fuck yeah, you can. Like you can gain muscle on it as well. And then you saw a lot of people starting to promote, coaching structures where you can just intuitively eat and lose weight and be able to do all this stuff. And to me, it was kind of trying to get towards the people that are more lazy, that don't want to put the work in, that they don't want to count the macros and the calories and stuff like that. And, I say it all the time. We named this podcast Elite Physique University. We're trying to build our elite physique, our best physique. And to me, intuitive eating can be used in certain ways, but in a lot of ways, if you kind of fall in that last category, I just don't think it's good, man. Are you seeing a lot of that stuff whenever you first started hearing about intuitive eating, or did you not see a lot of it?
Here's some problems that I see with it. I mean, some people's appetites are just way stronger than other people's. Like some people, more of the fat gene kind of people, like they tend to be able to eat a lot more than their metabolism will keep up with. Yeah. So, it's like if they're not weighing anything and portioning out, that can get them in trouble. Now, an ectomorph like me, my hunger signals are usually pretty good and I can read them and get the food in that I need. And there's many times post show that I do intuitive eating. I work my food up to where it just feels good. And then I run my macros to see where I'm at. Like I do that a lot. So, yeah, I mean, anything can get bastardized on social media where, come here and do intuitive eating and you'll lose, but there's got to be parameters on it if you're going to try to lose weight within it. Maybe it's fist size of this and 2/5 of this, or only, 3/5 of carbs a day. There's going to be some parameter on it. It's just, do we really have to get the food scale out and sit there and track? That's, what we're trying to get away from for people that are too OCD and really just kind of forgot how to kind of just eat. But if you want physique goals, there's going to have to be parameters on it. And so kind of like you said, there's levels.
Yeah. And you know what, man, you bring up an interesting point. You talk about some people, they just don't have the metabolic rate to support the calories that they're going to intuitively eat. And I think other people can. So I mean, my leptin's high, my body fat's, decently high. I mean, I'm not super fat, but my hunger is just not there. And if one thing it could lead to, another thing people like me is I'm just not hungry, is I could easily undereat, which is definitely not what you want, because cortisol stays high and your metabolic rate can adapt. And then the next thing you know is, and dude, I'm not kidding, I could probably eat 1,600 calories a day and be just fine. That's
Wow.
the way I am, because I could adapt down to that, because I've got enough fat on my body that leptin's high. So, I mean, that's why I drink so many shakes. And I just, like, dude, I don't have the hunger pain that most people do. So if we're not careful, it could really lead to some issues with undereating. I think a lot of people fear overeating, but I think for some people like me, undereating could end up being a problem. Or think about some of these women that generally, they've been dieting for a long time and they just don't have an appetite and they can't hardly lose weight. If they intuitively eat 1,000 calories a day, I know a lot of them that I try to start feeding them up and they're just full all the
Yeah.
time. So what happens if someone's intuitive eating too long? That's kind of a rabbit hole that we could go down, but I don't think we need to. Um, let's talk about developing the habits first. Intuitive eating to me is, whenever you said you base everything around protein, or if you're going to help a client in the off season, you I think people need to develop those habits first of actually I think people need to learn how to track their calories, track their macros, build diets, stick to it for a while, feel hungry, feel uncomfortable. It's the people that can develop those type of habits that it helps you intuitively eat. And then it gets back to what you're talking about, because dude, you're intuitively eating right now, right?
Yep.
Like, kind of break down an example of what your day looks like as an intuitive eater, even though you're still probably getting close. Kind of break your day down, if you
I
would.
mean, I'll be honest with you right now. So I just had my post workout, and it's usually a shake and about 100 grams of cream of rice. Well, I was still hungry, and I had strong hunger pains. My blood sugars felt low. So I threw in a Yazo bar, the Greek yogurt ones. They're pretty tasty. I'm not trying to be super strict right now. And then that still didn't help. So I got out these bagel thins and put some jelly on them. I kind of feel okay now, but I'm actually still a little hungry and I could probably push more carbs. So I'm listening to my body while I'm trying to grow. I have kind of a set diet, but I really didn't even know the macros because I worked towards it from my show. And what I did was I would just add food daily. So I was using my scale, but I really didn't know exactly what I was getting yet. And then I sit down and put pen to paper eventually and kind of figure out, okay, here's my baseline. But right now too, at night, if I'm hungry in between meals, I'll do a Greek yogurt and an apple. I'm not getting fat. I mean, I can post pictures here and I'm just getting rounder. So that's the kind of intuitive eating that I do, is I listen to my body, but I know I can push carbs and I get fat. And I know that, I've been doing this a really long time and know my physique. So that's kind of where I'm at with it in terms of trying to intuitively eat and just get enough food in.
Yeah. If someone's going to be a little bit more lax, kind of like I am, I know what I do is I try and aim for like 40 to 50 protein a meal, no matter what I do. I try and always make sure I'm like you, I make sure I get that protein in, because we're physique athletes. Like, you have
Yeah.
to, if you don't have
Yeah.
protein.
Yeah. You're not
And
just
then,
going to go get a meal of a bagel. You know what I mean?
right, right.
You got to at least get the protein in to slow down the insulin spikes and all that and to feed the muscle.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll do that. And I've gotten to the point, I don't count how many meals I have a day. I don't have anything written on paper. Just working to maintain, which I think intuitive eating, that ultimately that's the goal, is to be able to intuitively eat and not track everything and worry about it, especially if you're like me and you're trying to maintain. But, I might have, 4 to 5 meals a day. And I don't know if I have 4, I don't know if I have 5. And if I'm real hungry, I might have 6. But I know as long as I get around 50 grams of protein in a day, I know I'm covered from a protein standpoint. So I can still train 6 days a week. I can do all the things I need to do. And I have my carbs pre and post. And I generally aim for somewhere around, 50 carbs pre, 50 post. And then I make up the rest of my stuff with some trace fats or some healthy fats. And that's pretty much it, man. Do you have a lot of clients that come to you that ask for intuitive eating? Is that something that you're getting?
No, no. Most of my clients are pretty driven and know that, to get the best results, they're going to want to know their macros and, have some sort of tracking system, especially at where a lot of them are. I mean, a lot of them are not vets like me at 24 years in this game. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that they can't be taught to intuitively. It's just, I feel like if you want to work with a coach and get the most out of it, the more we know, more precisely what you're taking in, the easier it is to manipulate variables.
Yeah. So I think kind of a take home message, and this is a quick episode. I think it's just something that we could kind of set the record straight on to help people understand it. If I were going to sum it up from my end, I would just tell people before you start to try and intuitive eat, make sure you understand your base macros, how to count all your stuff, spend time building diets, and learn to see what your stuff looks like on a plate or in Tupperware when you travel or when you go out to eat. Because I mean, dude, if you go out to eat right now, what are you going to get every time? Like, tell
Me?
somebody a meal. Yeah, you personally.
Yeah, like so if I go out to eat, it's either gonna be sushi and it's very clean, or I'll go get like a steak, sweet potato. A lot of times I don't even have the bread, and I'll have a salad and whatever veggie they can steam, and I'm happy with that meal, and that's how I do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty simple. I get a grilled chicken breast. Usually they're about the size of your hand, which is about 40 to 50 protein
Yep.
ish. And I don't care if it's 40 or 50 or 60, honestly. I just make sure it's enough.
Yep.
And I'll get some kind of, either rice or potato or something. Or if not, I'm going to get a salad with my stuff on the side and I'll use 2 spoonfuls. It's going to be close to 20 fat. I know I'm somewhere in that range.
Yep.
And there's a lot of times that if people don't stress, it's the stress that people get from trying to intuitively eat because they can't let go. Like you said, they're too OCD. The stress is worse for you than the food. Like
Yes.
people are worrying about the minute stuff that they don't need to worry about, man. So
Yep.
you have any closing thoughts or any advice for people that want to give this a shot?
I think that, like I said, and you said it too, I think you have to have a base knowledge, in my opinion, before you go trying it. You just have a base knowledge of nutrition because, like we said, you got to start with your protein. This isn't just grabbing, a bag of chips or this or, just a piece of fruit by itself. It's still pairing foods, and you didn't have foods play off of each other. But once you do, if you're just looking to maintain, keep a nice physique, you're already kind of where you're at. I think it's a great way to kind of let go of those OCD tendencies and, just listen to your hunger and kind of know by then what your portions are. But by tracking macros first, you kind of learn portion size. And that's what I've done for so many years, that I can do this. I know portion size. And, so then I can kind of do my meals on the fly and know that I'm getting what I need. And it takes time, but get a base first, understand macros, understand how to build a diet. And then if you want to get to this point, I think that it's one of those things that I welcome, especially for a lifestyle of living the life, but maybe not competing. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to make progress, either losing weight or gaining muscle, if you don't know the numbers, if you don't know what's going on. So to me, intuitive eating is, people can end up shooting themselves in the foot. I think a good comparison would be, if you were going to go into the gym without a workout plan, without anything, and you just kind of went in and went off field for the day and made sure you got it in, and you got a good workout in, you're pretty close, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Probably not going to make a ton of progress, but you're going to do something, and you're probably going to be within that realm. So, all right, guys, real quick before we shut this down, you can go to the show notes. We've got all the information there if you need to contact us or check out Jason's new peanut butter protein, or if you want to check out my new pumpkin pie or anything else, just message us. And make sure to leave those reviews, tag us so we see them, and we're going to start giving back and hooking you guys out. So for myself and Jason, we're out here. Thanks, guys.